Hello class, my name is Luis Rubio, and today I'll be talking about implementing an extra layer of security to your wireless network that you might have at home simply by enabling MAC address filtering. MAC address filtering is simply just the process of just kind of updating your security settings in your router so that it only allows certain MAC addresses to be to get into the system. So with MAC addressing, you have to provide a list of addresses that the system can grant access to. If the MAC address on your machine does not match what's on the list, then you're not going to be granted access, even if you know the network password. So it just provides an extra layer of security. Of course, that doesn't stop a hacker from cloning your address and pretending that it's someone else's, but it certainly adds more time for them to be able to break in if they were to do that. So it's a cool and simple and easy way to just make your network a little more secure. The first step in doing that is figuring out which MAC addresses you want to include in your network, and to do so, we're gonna go to run, and we're gonna figure out what the MAC address of my machine is. So to do so, we simply just run an ipconfig, and we add the extension all so that we get all the settings. And here it is. And as you can see, here's my physical address of my machine. Obviously, I'm permitting access to this particular one. But if you have another network of computers at home, then you would just figure out what the MAC address is in the other computers, write those down, and then you can enter those into the system, which I'll be showing or talking about later. Then those will be granted access as well. So here's my MAC address, and now let me open up the wizard, or the administrator for my router. And in this case, it's the wrong window. So let's go to 192.168.0.1. Alright, here it is. Apparently I was in already because it would have asked me for a password. So now every router, of course, is different. It's going to have their own wizard, but you should be able to find some type of option or tool that says filtering, MAC address filtering. In this case, with the D-Link 624 router, I'm going to go into Advanced, and here's my filters option, and then I'm going to select MAC filters. And as you can see, this particular setting is disabled, so there's nothing in it. So what I'm going to do is activate this setting right here, which is only going to allow computers with MAC addresses listed below to access the network. Now, like I was saying, first you figure out what the MAC address is, and then you would enter it in here. In this case, because this machine has already connected to the network, it's already saved in this setting. So all I'm going to simply do is just add it. So I'm just going to clone it. That's the same exact address that I got when I did an ipconfig, same thing. And I'm just going to simply add the address to my list. It'll just be a second. You might have noticed on the drop down there were other MAC addresses. Those are simply machines that have been from my network that have been accessed before, so that's why they're saved. They're in the setting. So all I would simply do is just access them. But if this was the first time that I was connecting, then it wouldn't really work. I would have to actually manually type them. They wouldn't be in a drop down like they are right now. Now apparently we have a problem. Apparently I added the wrong machine to it. So as soon as I apply settings, notice how it interrupted my system. And if I pull up my network administrator, notice how I'm no longer connected to it. This is the network that I used to be connected to. Apparently now I'm disabled. Now luckily I have my other laptop with me, which you can't see that I'm doing it in there, but I'm gonna have to go through my other computer and undo what I just did, so that my computer, the one with my MAC address, now has access to the network. Because as you can see, if I try to connect to this, even though it's the right password, it's not going to do so. It's going to keep trying and trying to connect, and it's not going to do anything. So it'll just be a second. I'm going to go over to my other computer, and I'm just going to disable that setting so that I can, get into my network again, because apparently it's not working. Alright, there it is. So now, it should take just a second, but it should connect here pretty soon. Because otherwise, if I hadn't applied what I just did, it would just keep trying this, and eventually it would just get out of it and it wouldn't do anything. But now that I've disabled MAC address filtering, it should connect here in just a second. Alright, looks like it's been a little slow, so I'm just gonna see if I can force it here. Going to refresh the network pretty soon. Oh, there it is. Now it's connected. Okay. So, back to business. Alright, here we go. So as you can see, this is actually the wrong address. This is my laptop computer. So you can see the last two numbers on that are 5944. But if I open up my other window, notice how that doesn't match. So I made a mistake in the presentation. It's actually a good thing I did, because I get to show what would happen the second I apply that setting. So now I'm going to look for the one that ends in 839C, which would be this one right here. That's my that's mine right there. I'm sorry, it's not 8396. I was looking at the wrong one. It's actually FA46. That's the one. So there it is. So this is actually my computer, so I'm going to clone that, and I'm just going to hit apply. Now, even though it's in the list, it's still not going to do anything. I have to enable this option again. So once I enable that option and I click apply and continue, now it's performing that filtering. So now if the neighbor were to somehow steal my password and get into my computer, or try to connect, it wouldn't work because their MAC address is not in the system. Let me show you that one more time. Now that it is in the system, if I go through my internet browser, I'm able to browse the Bri, the Bri's website, because I'm still in, so it still works. However, the second that I remove my address from here, I'm going to immediately lose access to the internet. Just be a second. As soon as that setting is applied, I would be disconnected, and there it is. And if I bring up my wireless window again, as you can see, I'm once again disconnected. So as you can see, MAC filtering addressing is working perfectly. If my MAC address is in the system, I have internet connection. If I'm not in the system, then I'm not in the network. Therefore, I can't browse or do anything. That's all for my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you can now that I provided enough information so that you can go to your own network at home and apply this extra layer of security. Thank you very much, and I'll see you all in class soon.